Hello everybody, Kate B here. Let me know if you can hear me well. Here is Florida after the hurricane. This is the sky. It's a sunset. I'm going to the lake to watch the sunset. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous night. The hurricane has passed. It didn't touch us much. You can see the roads are clean. There is no flooding. Not many trees, branches on the, like usually after the hurricane, all the roads are covered in trees and water and mud. But today is nice and clean. I was surprised. We stayed home. There was no work. Schools were canceled today for the hurricane day, and there was no work, so we stayed home. Маска, hello, привет, Маска, здравствуйте. У нас был ураган. We had hurricane, but we survived. So around 4:30 in the morning, it was a tornado warning. So a lot of people woke up because those tornado sirens were very loud. But I slept through, and since there was no work, no school today, we slept in. I actually slept in until 9:30. Look how pretty it is. So now it's the sunset. Everything dried up after, it was heavy rain, a lot of rains. It was raining since 4 o'clock last night, and strong winds. So in the morning, it was lots of rains until like maybe 10, 11 a.m. I survived too. We rented out house from today. Yay! Congratulations! So you have new tenants, I guess. Congrats! Yeah, that's a good news. I remember you saying you were lazy to go down the street and show the house, but here you are. Good for you. So I'm going to the lake. Thanks. I'm going to the lake to see the sunset because I wanted to check out how things look after the storm. And surprisingly, it was an easy storm. I guess it went north of us, and it came from the Gulf, and it probably was a little bit more winds in Tampa area, and then it went up north to Gainesville or whatever. Like our little town wasn't hit that bad. There is a little bit of water on the sidewalk, as you may see. Maska, can you tell me if you can hear me well? I'm going for a walk. Can you hear me well? I didn't bring my microphone. So it's actually not too hot, and it's a little bit windy. I don't know how much of the wind you can hear. Yes, thank you. So if you watched my last live stream, I started to tell you about my epic cruise to Alaska. If you missed my last live stream, please watch it. It's there available under the live streams on my channel. So okay, it's a little windy. I don't know if you can hear the wind, but look at the sky. Look how pretty it is today with the sky like that. So pretty. Yeah, so pretty. Okay, I'll let you know when I'm ready. Excuse me, to turn the camera. Anyways, if you haven't watched my live stream about my epic Alaskan cruise, please do so, because like my daughter said, I'm a real YouTuber now, because when I do live stream, I showed some real raw emotions about my trip, about how impressed I was and how I admire Alaska now and people who live there. So today I'm in a good mood because I had like 9 hours of sleep. There was no work. I was able to compile my little video from Seattle because we spent half a day in Seattle, and before we got on the ship um, we went to Seattle's famous tower, which is called Space Needle. So today I was putting together, editing my video, and I posted one of my I uploaded and posted one of my videos from flying across the country from Orlando to Seattle, and the first day in Seattle with a little some of the footage I did on the fish market and on the flower market. So watch my videos, and today I'm gonna discuss some other stops we stopped on the way. Okay, who's there? Pictures blurring is mine when I try to stream walking in LA. I will see you stream, but not very soon, as daughter is coming from Las Vegas for a few days. Okay, no problem. Thank you. Whenever. Let me see. Maybe it's just that little patch where the internet is not so good. Let me see. I'm trying to walk to the lake. Usually at the lake the streaming is a little better. Here am I, walking in the jungle. Hello, hi everybody. Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. And today I'm walking after the hurricane in Florida, Orlando area, northeast of Orlando, and we were not hit. We were not hit badly. It was just heavy rain, so we're all good. We're all safe. And I was happy because we just pretty much were safe, and we got an extra day off from school and from work. Okay, so today, during my live stream, I was ready to discuss the second part of my cruise. Okay, it's a little blurry, I guess. Hold on. Okay. How about that? So, you don't need to see my red face. It looks like my face is really red in that sunset lighting. And maybe because I'm walking. Anyways, when I told you about my cruise to Alaska, I told you about my first few days and the absolute gorgeous train ride in Skagway. We took the train ride up the hill to Klondike White Pass Summit. That's a very historical place where the people came for the gold rush in late 800s and early 900s. So I forgot to tell you about something about Skagway. There is a famous saloon in Skagway. If you ever go to Alaska and one of your ports will be Skagway, there is a very famous saloon. It's called Red Onion Saloon. It used to be a brothel. So, a brothel is, of course, is not longer there, but you can take an excursion and they're gonna show you the rooms where all these ladies make life of the gold diggers, of the men who came to find the gold. Those women there made men's life a little bit fun, I guess. It's funny because we wanted to check out that saloon, just went for a drink there, and it was funny what we saw in the saloon. Everything was so old, just, you know, to kind of give you the atmosphere of the old days. Pretty old, pretty authentic, pretty unique. But what really impressed me, that on the walls along the photographs of those ladies who worked there in the brothel, on the top of the wall they had toilets, all kind of toilets. You know, toilet bowl. Back in the day they didn't have a regular toilet, separate like septic system or whatever. But rather than that, the toilets were the bowls. People would go in a bowl and dump it later, like buckets, or I don't know the word for the portable toilets. Anyways, potties. Let's say potties. So imagine you're sitting in the saloon. Should I say saloon? It's like a bar, and you can order food there too. But imagine you're sitting in the saloon, and you get your head up, and you see potties as decorations all over the wall closer to the ceiling. So that was pretty fun, pretty interesting view, if you ask me. But it was a very nice walk to the saloon to see the downtown, because Skagway is a very neat downtown. Has a Gold Rush museum, but we didn't go to the museum. So on the way back, we just walked, and I saw some birch trees. And again, I told you before that I don't see birch trees in Florida, because we don't have birch trees, I think. But when I saw birch trees in Alaska, I made sure I took a picture. I made sure I admired my birch trees. I even hugged the birch tree. So the Skagway port was very, very nice sightseeing. And here is an interesting thing. I was a part of the Facebook group where people were sharing before the cruise. Like, you can join the Facebook group if you're going on a cruise, on any cruise line. Make sure you join the Facebook group where people share tips and ideas, and then later on they share good places they went to visit. Anyway, so when I was on a train ride, there was this little girl with her mom on the open platform. There was a platform between train cars where you could stand and admire the views. And the train, sometimes it went fast, sometimes it went a little slower, but it was nice to be on the platform to admire the views, to admire the forests, to admire the rocks, to admire the creeks, to admire the nature. And this path, how it was built through the rocks, through the mountains, up to the top, to the summit. Very, very interesting railroad to be on. So there was this little gal on the platform, and while I was filming and standing on the platform, this little girl kept saying, "Do you see the bear? Do you see the bear? I want to see the bear." And like, I probably heard that bear word maybe 1,000 times within like 30 minutes I stood at my platform. But anyways, she was so cute. She was trying to find the bear, to see the bear. She was restless. She kept asking. So when I look back on my footage, on my videos I took from that platform, I can hear, all I can hear is that little girl looking for a bear. "Did you see the bear? Do you see the bear? Is the bear there?" So it was so cute. But anyways, when we started to share our stories on the Facebook page of this cruise, whoever people joined that group before the cruise, and they kept sharing their photos, they kept sharing their stories, they kept sharing their impressions and admiration for Alaska and the places they've seen. I see this lady who posted a picture of bears, and they went really on a excursion or on a hike where they were taken to a special place. You could really see the wildlife, but from a safe distance. But anyways, this lady posted those beautiful pictures of real bears in Alaska, and she posted them in that group. And another lady, she commented, she said, "Oh, my daughter will be so sad that she didn't see a bear." So I immediately knew that that lady, look at the sky, look at sunset. It's so gorgeous. Can you hear me well? I have 2 viewers. Welcome. Welcome to Kate channel. Today I'm telling you the second part of my cruise. My special cruise stories, if you will. Look how gorgeous is that sunset. I'm going to the lake to watch the sunset after the storm. Anyway, so this happened to be exactly the same lady. And she said, oh no, I'm not gonna show pictures to my little girl because she wanted to see a bear so badly. And I write to her, were you trying to see the bear on the platform of that white pass train? And she said, yes, big time, we were there. And I'm like, yes, I have a footage and all I can hear is your little girl looking for a bear. How cute is that? So this lady was in the same Facebook book talking about the bear, and I for sure, I didn't take any video of the girl, but I can definitely see her, hear her saying it. And I think it's cute because I was thinking when I edit my video, when I put things together from each port, you will already know the story, and you could probably hear in one of the pieces of the video that this little girl kept asking, where is the bear? Okay, so Skagway. And did I tell you that in Skagway we went to a restaurant to eat some big jumbo crab legs? And I told you that I love to try local foods when I go visit, and I'm very adventurous with the local foods, but who can say no to the crab legs? So those crab legs were huge. They were really big and they were really meaty. They had a lot of meat in them. And the lady who served it to us, she showed us how to open them properly. And if you know how to open them properly, you're not gonna resist eating them, because it makes it easy to open and find big chunks of crab meat, like real crab meat. Look at this beautiful, gorgeous picture of the lake with the sunset. That's the sun after the hurricane. Everything looks so beautiful. I don't see any trees down. I don't see a lot of debris, so it's a good sign. It wasn't as bad as it could be. Hurricanes are really bad sometimes. They bring lots of floods, but this one was kind to us. It wasn't as bad. Sunset is great. I can hear you, but I need to take the nap as I was sleeping only 4 hours today, and we worked hard on the home today. We prepared and I was next to him. Good job. Okay. Have a good nap. See you later. Okay. So what I'm telling you, Skagway. After eating those crab legs and going back on the ship, I thought that was very good day. So some people bought excursion to go on the glacier. I'm sure there is another glacier to go visit in Skagway, but again, for the reasons of bad weather, the helicopter ride to the glacier was canceled. I keep saying it because that was one of my favorite excursions I was looking forward to, and it never happened. So as my husband said, that was something you can do on your next cruise, and I'm planning maybe to take a next cruise sometime next year, maybe in June or July. Okay, After the Skagway, so Skagway was Wednesday. After the Skagway, we went, next stop, we went to Glacier Bay. Glacier Bay is a national park, so it's not really a port. It's just they take you through the channel to the glaciers, and they circle around just so everybody can enjoy the perfect views. And let me tell you, that was my favorite day on Alaskan cruise. That was very spectacular. The weather was cold in the morning. I think I was not ready. Before we get to the glacier, it was really windy and cold, and I didn't expect it to be that cold. I wore my hat, but I didn't wear my jacket at first. And we went on an observation deck, and we were walking around, waiting until the ship gonna go closer to the glacier. And I was absolutely, you know, freezing and cold and shivering. So everybody were on the deck with their phones. It's interesting. I don't remember when people started to have video recording devices. When I came to the United States to be an au pair, I stayed in the family in Kansas City in 2003, and they had a video recording camera. I think it was already digital. No, it wasn't even digital. Back in 2003, the video camera still had little small cassettes to it. So now everybody have phones. Some people were probably vloggers too, and they had big cameras with a microphone, with all this equipment, being on the deck filming the glaciers. Of course, I had only my phone. I had my Nikon camera too, but it's very heavy. It's hard to take pictures with it sometimes because you manage your phone, you have your camera. But sometimes I use the camera to take videos and pictures too, because my phone, I was worried that my phone didn't have enough space. So in Glacier Bay, yeah, it's a little windy. I don't know if you can still hear me well. Look how pretty is he. Oh my gosh, so pretty. The sky is so pretty, cloudy but pretty. Anyways, so on Glacier Bay, I close my eyes, literally. I close my eyes now, and all I can see how it's slowly moving, cruising. The ship slowly moving closer to the glacier, and everybody gets excited. Everybody talking, everybody filming, everybody taking pictures, everybody standing there wrapping in a blanket, or some people have gloves, some people have hats, jackets. I got my jacket from my room. I also put the jacket to keep myself warm. But check this out. As soon as we got closer to the glacier, all of a sudden it started to be warm. It wasn't even as cold as when we were coming towards it. For some magic reason, it started to be so beautiful and so warm outside. Then we went to the deck, upper deck. We went to deck 19 for some other views of the glacier. And they were serving salmon chowder soup, which was nice and warm. If people were cold, they could eat some soup. I like those little details, how the cruise line make you feel comfortable. You know, at your house, you don't randomly walk around and somebody hands you a little cup of salmon soup, you know. So it felt like someone taking care of you constantly on the cruise. cruise. Someone worked really, like crew people, they work really hard on the cruise to make you happy, to make you relax, to make you comfortable, to make you lazy, spoiled, just stress free. So we walked around, people were so happy, and we saw ice carving. It's a very natural thing with the glaciers. When a chunk of ice and snow falls in the water, and it looks spectacular because like it falls, and from the far you see all this snowy dust, but that's ice falling in the water. And at first you can hear like cracking sound, but when I heard the cracking sound, my camera wasn't on, and I turned on my camera right when the pieces fell into the water, and I caught a little video of this very natural occurrence on the glaciers, and very spectacular. It's called ice carving. Ice carving. CALVING. Ice carving. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correct, but anyways, I'm telling you, I'm closing my eyes and all I can see this beautiful glacier, this beautiful, gorgeous turquoise, almost like, I don't know, greenish blue water. It's mountains around, and between the mountains there's a glacier. Because Glacier Bay is a Glacier Bay National Park, there were people who worked there and they lived there somewhere. I don't know, there must be some lodging around that area. They came by the boat on the ship, and they were telling us all about how the glacier was formed and how big it is. It was 21 miles wrapping around the mountains. We could only see like a small part of it from the ship, but the ranger, the national park ranger, the guy, he told us, and it's you can hear it from all over the ship, because you know he stays in the observation lounge, and people are gathered there to listen to him and to watch from inside. But because we were walking on the decks, we wanted to watch the glacier from outside. Being outside, we didn't see the ranger, but we could hear him because it was translating all around the ship in the public announcement system. So he told us that after seeing the Glacier Bay, we're not gonna leave the same people as we came here. And I thought to myself, what did he imply? What does he mean? What does he mean saying that? But a few hours after, when we left the glacier, all of a sudden I had such a peace and happiness in my soul. My brain was so calm. My brain was so calm, stress-free and clear. And that was exactly the feeling that guy, the ranger, the park ranger, was telling us about. After seeing the glacier, after moving away from Glacier Bay, you had that feeling that you're just a tiny little dust piece on that earth. And you're so temporary, you're so no important. Well, you're important to your little circle, to your family, to the people you love, to the people who love you. But in the big scale of this nature, you're pretty much just a tiny little dot. But after that scenery, after experiencing something different, like I was cold and I was warm, and I took pictures, I got excited, experiences all these emotions, all of a sudden, leaving the Glacier Bay, I felt so content. I felt so calm. I felt so happy. I felt I cannot express it. I think it was a pure happiness. It was a pure love. It was so stress-free. I was so relaxed. And I kept telling myself, yes, now I understand why you're never gonna be the same. Because something happens to you that you can really be worry-free. You can really be stress-free. You can really be a part of that nature, thinking of nothing but good, thinking of nothing but how beautiful our planet Earth is. Yes, I think I was very, very happy and very grounded, and I was very, very down to earth at that moment. Look how gorgeous is the sky. And even now, when I want to fall asleep, when I want to make myself to calm down at night, if I'm worried, I just close my eyes and I try to remember this little picture, the glaciers, what I saw and how I felt. And it's a nice, nice technique to calm yourself down and to work with your inner peace and appreciate life. Yes. I was very content. I was very grateful. I was very, very happy. So, Glacier Bay was my favorite day on the cruise. Then, of course, we went to spa. We ate good food. I think I even took a nap. Yes, I think I even took a nap because I was so relaxed, and the fresh air made me kind of tired. A lot of fresh air made me kind of tired. That's what the cruise for, just to take it easy. I didn't plan any activities. People played all kinds of stuff like bingo. They had entertainment by the pool. They had entertainment in the lounges. But I think I just took a nap and I went to spa, and I think that day I had a massage. Yes, I think I had a massage. Oh no, maybe I had a massage the day before. Well, I had a massage after Skagway. I had a massage on Wednesday night. Yeah. Let me tell you, when you're on a cruise, make sure you book a massage. This was a special massage. Massage. Should I say massage? Okay. It was very special because they laid me down in the little tiny stones of quartz. So it felt almost like grains, like little tiny grains of quartz, and it's supposed to be like healthy for your body. So I lay down in the quartz while the lady was massaging me, and then I had a massage and mini facial. She probably spent about an hour and a half on my procedures, and I felt so relaxed with the music and with being in the warm quartz and getting a massage. Yes, I felt so relaxed, and I always take some time to talk to people on a cruise, and this lady, she told me she's been working on a cruise for 16 years. She she was from Philippines, and she looked very young. And I thought to myself, wow, she'll probably, you know, she's probably in her like late 20s. But no, when she said she's been working on the cruise for 16 years, she probably was in her like late 30s. But anyway, she looked very young, but her hands were so strong, people. You know, I was thinking to myself, how a person can do massages for 16 years. She's very strong. And I talked to her if she liked it, and she said yes, because life in the Philippines is hard. And being on a cruise, she makes some good money, and when she has time off, she only do 9-month contract, and then she goes home for 3 months, and she can see her family. She can live comfortably for 3 months in Philippines and go back on a cruise. But what's interesting, she told me, she says she met her husband on a cruise and she got married, and now she travels, well, she doesn't travel, she works on a cruise, and her husband works in engineering. So both of them, they make pretty good money. So sometimes, she said, sometime when they're done working on the cruise, they're gonna have good money to settle down and buy maybe a house in Philippines and start a family. I didn't quite ask her about if she has children. It would be a little sad if she has a child she has to leave behind in order to work on a cruise ship. So I didn't quite go that route. I just kept it to myself, didn't ask too many questions. But it was an interesting story. So she works on the ship. She meets the guy from Philippines too, who works in engineering. They get married and they cruise together. They have a cabin to live together. They have accommodation. They get food. They save their money. They work hard, really hard. People in the cruise, the crew members, they work really hard to make you vacation, to make your vacation very special. But people in the cruise work really hard. So that was a very good story too. And that was my massage. Okay, next day after Glacier Bay, I was ready to go home. No, just kidding. But you know, after Glacier Bay, I thought to myself, I've already seen so much. I've already experienced so much. I've seen the beautiful, beautiful nature of Alaska. I took the train ride. I saw the glaciers. I saw Mendenhall Glacier. I saw Nugget Falls. I experienced the cold and chilly and fresh weather and beautiful weather. Okay. And that day we also went to race. Can you believe it? They have a racetrack. They have a go-kart racetrack on the cruise ship. Yes, sounds really crazy, but they have really cool modern go-karts. I don't remember if I've been on the go-karts before. So we had to book the go-karts, and we booked it 3 times from different days. I think first time when we went, I was a little scared, so I wasn't driving super fast. But the second time we went, I think I got a taste of racing, and it was such a good feeling just being on a cruise, seeing the sea. That was the racetrack is on the very top deck, so it's very safe. If people drive super crazy, they can stop them with the remote control. So first time I did the racing, I pretty much, I came last, and I was like an old lady driving super safe and slow, and my husband kind of was mocking me, and he even bumped me once, just, a little bit, just to make fun of me, but that's okay. Second time when we went, I was fast. I didn't come last. The second time we went, I didn't come last. That's for sure. but I got a good taste of it, you know. Wind and like they make you wear a big huge helmet, so you can't really feel wind in your face. No, but the feeling of being in the car, in the race car on the ship, and going like on a twisted track, it was really fun. It was really fun. So I enjoyed it very much. And that was on 17th, I think. Yeah. I don't quite remember which restaurant we picked for that day. Maybe we went to the steakhouse. I don't remember. We went to the steakhouse, or yeah. On Thursday we went to the steakhouse on 17th on Thursday. That's correct. So we went to the steakhouse because I took a nap and I was relaxed and I was able to put some makeup and dress up. I was wearing my super cool jacket. I showed you my jacket when I was packing for Alaskan cruise. I show you my beautiful, gorgeous Italian leather jacket. So I got a chance to wear it the first night to the special dining restaurant, and I got a chance to wear it the second time when we went to the steakhouse. Of course, my husband ate delicious lamb chops, and I ate a perfectly cooked filet mignon. I actually ate surf and turf. I ate filet mignon with the lobster tail, and the steak was so delicious, and the sides were super delicious. We got like sauteed mushrooms, we got asparagus, we got something else, coleslaw or something. But anyways, we usually order very healthy sides. We don't eat a lot of potatoes. We don't eat a lot of pasta. We just try to stick with vegetables, green salad. So the steak was really delicious in the steakhouse, and I got a lobster tail. Well, let me tell you, lobster tail wasn't as good as it was in the Ocean Blue restaurant, but maybe it was just, maybe it was just overcooked or something. It was very fresh, I'm sure, but it just was a little bit overcooked. But my steak was delicious. I like my steak, filet mignon, I like it medium rare. But let me tell you, it was cooked to perfection, and it didn't have a lot of blood, because I like it medium rare, but I don't like a lot of blood in my plate. So that was a perfect dinner at steakhouse. And after the dinner, we went to another beautiful Beatles show. I'll make sure and include the group is called Beatles Invasions. And this show, I told you in my previous stream that this show was very nice. It was pretty much 4 days out of 7 days on a cruise, and all those 4 days they were playing different songs from different periods of Beatles. So it wasn't the same show every time. Every next show was having a later period of Beatles songs. So we really enjoyed the show. And again, what else you can do after dinner? Just walk around, relax. I was so full during the dinner, so my tip for you, if you get too full during the dinner and you cannot do dessert, just ask the dessert to go. And they give you a plate, and you can bring your dessert to your room. You have a mini fridge in your stateroom. So I usually save my dessert, and because I don't want to eat dessert at night, I save my dessert in the fridge, and next morning I sit on the balcony and I have my dessert with the tea, overlooking the sea, and having my dessert for breakfast. Sometimes I have my dessert during the sunrise because I like to watch the sunrises on my balcony. I think I only watched one sunrise because most of the sunrises I overslept. I couldn't get up at 6:20. The time difference was so interesting. You kind of get up early, but because you know it's early, you're gonna go back to sleep. And because the ship is swaying a little bit on, it's not really, it's very safe. It's not rocky, but it's swaying, so it's nice, nice feeling to it. So in the morning you sleep very well. So we got up every day pretty much around 7:30 or 8, but we like to, we didn't get up right away. We just lay down, uh, read a book or watch TV a little bit before we get up for breakfast. Okay, Friday. I should tell you about Friday. Okay, I've been on that stream 45 minutes. Are you still with me? Thank you for my 3 viewers for being with me. I'm here at the lake after the hurricane. Thank you for sticking around. I hope you can still hear me well. So I'm gonna tell you about Friday and about Saturday, and then I'll be done with my cruise narration. And then later on next week I'm gonna post all my videos day to day on a cruise. So if you remember my stories, you kind of put a picture to it. It's like now you're reading a book because I'm telling you. It's like an audio book. I'm telling you all about my time on the cruise. And then you're gonna have a movie to put 1 and 2 together, and you'll see the views in the video. I'm still editing my videos. It takes time to edit the videos because I only yeah, long story short, we have Monday off. Next Monday is a Labor Day, and this time usually we go to Sarasota, but our trip fell through because of the hurricane. We're not sure what is the weather, so usually we meet with the friends, but my friends decided to go somewhere else, so they're not flying down to Florida. So we staying home for Labor Day, and we're gonna probably grill and chill and invite some friends over to drink some wine and grill some steaks. But on Monday I have a day off, so I will be busy editing my videos from Alaska cruise. It takes time. For a 15-minute video it takes me about 3 hours to put all my little pieces together and make it look good. So on Friday is Ketchikan. Ketchikan is a port, and it's interesting because Norwegian Cruise Line has a separate dock, and the dock for Norwegian Cruise Line is not quite in the city. The buses from the cruise line dock will take you to the city if you want to go to downtown Ketchikan. So in Ketchikan I booked an excursion. I really wanted to go to the oyster farm to see how oysters are growing. You may know that I'm a huge fan by now. You may know I'm a huge fan of seafood. Everywhere I go, and I live in the perfect place in Florida because we have a lot of fresh seafood. We have in our little town, we have an oyster restaurant, a couple of oyster restaurants we love. Oysters are always fresh. And we can buy crabs and lobsters. We have restaurant in the United States, chain restaurant, Red Lobster, where you can pick your lobster in a big tank of water and then they cook it for you right there in the restaurant. And you can buy a lot of seafood. We have Restaurant Depot with all kinds of fish and seafood. Restaurant Depot, it's like a membership store. You buy membership and you can go there to buy seafood in bulk. And we love Costco. Costco has a good selection of seafood. So I admire everything fish, everything sea. most of the sea creatures I can eat. So on that cruise, I made sure, because Alaska is famous for its seafood, I wanted to go to the oyster farm. And let me tell you, Ketchikan in itself, people say it's not a lot of things to see. So in Ketchikan, most people went for hiking, for wildlife observing, and shopping and stuff like that. But I booked an oyster excursion. So they take you on a little, they take you on a little drive. First you drive about 15-20 minutes to go to a special island. They take you by the boat. And the boat ride is about 15 minutes too. So while on the boat, there were like about maybe 12-14 people, and we had an amazing tour guide. His name was Spencer, and he was a young dude. He said he is going to college in Arizona, but in summers he comes back home to Alaska to be a tour guide and work on the oyster farm. So he took us to the oyster farm, and I was able to see how those beautiful oysters that I adore to eat so much, how they grow them. And I was surprised how much work, how much labor, how much commitment this business requires. And now I understand why oysters cost so much when you go to the restaurant, because by the time they get to the restaurant, it takes so many people to make sure they grow and they are fresh and they fly from whatever area. But anyways, the oyster farm, they took us on a beautiful boat, and at first it was a little cold on the boat, but when we were coming back, the sun came out, and it was just everything I wished for after eating fresh oysters from the sea. So they took us on that farm, and they explained to us that they buy baby oysters. They buy about 3 million baby oysters every year, and they like baby oysters. They're like little tiny, I don't know, dots. They are as small as they are as small as, I don't know, a grain salt of grain, like grain of salt, very small. And they buy about 3 million from Hawaii. And because of the ecology, because of the water is so clean on Hump Island, so the farm is located on Hump Island. If you're ever interested, you can look at it. It's not far from Ketchikan, Alaska. So on the Hump Island. So they get these oysters and they put them in special places to grow. And the most important thing, to keep them clean, to feed them well, and not to let starfish to eat the oysters. So out of the 3 million oysters, tiny baby oysters they buy every year, only about half of them, 50% of them, reaches the maturity age when they can be sold and eaten. So just imagine, 50% of the baby oysters makes it to the industry. So it's very interesting how they grow them, how they make sure they stay clean, how they wash them, how they have special equipment. It's pretty much a little cages. They keep them about 40 feet down under the water. They make sure that the temperature of water is not too cold for them. So it's important to take them out every day. The big cages have like maybe 7 or 8 different shelves, and it's very important to keep starfish and all other predators away who can eat, like the squid squids can eat the oysters and stuff like that. But anyways, they showed us the whole operation, how they grow them, and you will be surprised how long does it take to grow an oyster from the baby to the maturity to the when they're ready to be eaten. It takes about 4 years to grow them. So it just blew my mind. In order for you to eat them in 1 second, it takes the farming process of 4 years to grow a mature oyster. So that was pretty unique. That's pretty big delicacy if you ask me. Why do I like them so much? Because they taste so good. They taste so delicious, and they're very, very rich in nutrients. They're very rich in zinc. They're very rich in minerals. They're like purest protein you can find on earth. They're very, very fresh, and they taste like pure butter. Butter. Yeah. Anyways, they gave us a tour. It was not too long, not overwhelming or anything. And then we sat at this beautiful bar. They have a bar where locals can come at night to hang out. And it's interesting because they to the island they only can get by boat. So there is a boat that takes them to the bar. Can you imagine, like you randomly want to go to a bar and you can't drive, you only need to get to the bar by boat. So it was pretty interesting. So we sat at the bar, we had some white wine. Well, we're not driving the boat, so we could have wine. And it was like 11 o'clock in the morning, but we already had wine. And they let us taste the oysters. They gave us 3 different oysters to taste, but because they were so delicious, they offered us to buy. Well, of course, you go there as an excursion, you pay for an excursion as a tourist, but they need to make money. So they sold us some oysters to eat, and they were so delicious. And we also bought some souvenirs. We also bought some shirts there, just to have good memories. And when it's cold in Florida, I can wear some long sleeve shirts from the Hump Island where I went to the oyster farm. That was a very good excursion. I cannot tell you the whole entourage, the whole experience. And I like talk to people, so I got to talk to some younger dudes who work on the farm, and I would ask them how do they manage, do they like seafood, because like my Florida kids, my American kids, they wouldn't touch seafood. They wouldn't eat even fish sticks, which is like not probably fish, but they wouldn't touch fish products, they wouldn't touch sea products. So I asked the kids, like they were like I tell you kids because they were in the early 20s, most of them who worked there. So I touched that interesting topic. How did they grow up, and what did they eat as kids? And most of them said they eat raw tuna tartar, they eat lots of salmon, they eat lots of smoked salmon, they eat lots of like any dishes with squids, like any type of fish, any type of seafood they eat when they were growing. And of course they acquire taste because their parents cook it, and they have no choice. When they sit at the dinner from early age, they were exposed to fish products, to seafood, and they couldn't say no. And it was interesting that there was a girl, Chanel. She was cooking for us. Yeah, she was setting the food for us at the bar, and she was serving us drinks. She was a server. So this girl Chanel, she went to school in like somewhere. Everything is south of Alaska, so she said south, but it meant she went to school like in Seattle, Washington. Anyways, she came back. She graduated, but she came back because she couldn't find a job. So now she's still home for the summer, deciding what she's gonna do. Chanel, she was gorgeous. She was so beautiful, so neat, very good looking girl. And I asked her about, what she ate when she was a kid. So she said her mom often cooked the tuna tartar. And when she went to be at school in Seattle, she found out that tuna tartare is so pricey in the restaurants. When you go out to eat, it's a very pricey dish. So she said to herself, well, I hated tuna tartare when I was a kid, but nowadays I realize that I took things for granted. When she went to school and college, the tuna tartare wasn't that easily available to her because she was a student. She was pretty much broke most of the times and she couldn't afford the tuna tartare. Now, that's an interesting insight from kids on Alaska. It's just like us in Florida. We appreciate sun, but when we go to Alaska and there is no sun there, not that much of a sun, you started to appreciate Florida and be happy that we get a lot of sun during the year. All right. So that was a good day, and Friday was pretty much our cruise was almost our cruise was almost done. So Friday and Saturday we were going to Canada. We were going to British Columbia. It's a part of Canada. We stopped at the Victoria, a little town. But on Friday again, after that beautiful excursion, we got some clothes in the market before we got on the ship, back on the ship. Because we came early on the ship, we still have half a day to do whatever we wanted, to eat, to relax, to go to spa, whatever. Eat, relax, repeat, and be carefree. Because the port of Ketchikan, it's still United States. We could have connection. When you're at sea, you don't have good connection. You turn your phone to the airplane mode and you use the internet provided by the ship. You use the internet you bought on the ship. It wasn't very good, but it was nice not to be on social media. It was nice to be away from internet. It was nice just to sit down, and I had an audio book in my phone I could listen to, and I could listen to some music in my phone. So it was nice. Not I You kind of have this withdrawals from YouTube. You kind of like, oh, what's going on there? And when you stay in the port and you have your 5G, you can check things out briefly. But when you're at sea, you just relax and you get rest from social media and you get rest from internet too. And it's very good thing. It's very good thing. Everybody needs rest from social media and internet. I was really really happy. Sometimes I just didn't feel like filming a lot because I thought to myself, I can't film every step of the way because I don't truly live it. I don't truly relax when I want to film everything. But I filmed enough. I filmed a lot of videos. I filmed about 50 gigabytes of videos and I took pictures. So I'll definitely do maybe 15-minute video for each day on my Alaskan cruise. So Friday was a good day. Saturday, they don't come to British Columbia until later at night. It was kind of stupid port. I didn't care for British Columbia that much. We didn't have any excursion. We just took a walk. And my husband was very adventurous. And we docked there about 8 o'clock. And it's already started to sunset. It was gorgeous, beautiful at first at the sunset because you can see a lot of they love to garden there, so it's a lot of beautiful bushes and flowers and blooms everywhere. And we didn't take a bus. We just decided to walk to downtown to see their downtown area. So he took me in a random dark streets, and I was a little scared. And he told me it's Canada. It's not like a random country, third world, where you can get robbed or killed or whatever. He said it's Canada, for God's sake. It's pretty safe here. So imagine me walking at 8:30 at night in Canada, being adventurous in some random tiny streets, seeing carriages, like that's for the tourists. A lot of people came on carriages pulled by horses to the downtown area of Victoria. So we walked. We had a nice, maybe, I don't know, 8,000 steps walk. But when we got to downtown, it was started to get late, and I was worried how we're gonna walk back and if we're gonna make it by 10:45, because we had to be back on the ship by 10:45. I started to be a little anxious, so I filmed just a little bit the downtown area. They had a beautiful marina. They had a beautiful, whatever, parliament building or like a government building that looked like a palace. And they had a big light up Canada sign where people taking photos. And then we took a girl who was riding a bike with a little open carriage. It was like a rickshaw girl. She took us back on the ship for $40. We paid her $40 to go back on the ship. So she took us back in about 15 minutes bike ride, and she told us a little bit about town of Victoria, that a lot of potheads live there, a lot of retired people live there, a lot of students are there. So it's a nice, neat town, but it's, we didn't have any excursions, and as I say, I didn't care much for that stop. It wasn't Alaska, it was the day before we going back to Seattle, so I had to pack. And I most of Saturday kind of just didn't worry about anything. Went to spa. I tried to buy souvenirs at the stores on the ship. I went to eat dessert, to sit on the balcony. And yes, it's also going to be in my video. We had a little picnic on the balcony when we ordered room service. When you're on the ship, you have to order room service. Sometimes they have a menu, especially for room service, and if you don't feel like going somewhere. So I wanted to have a little picnic before we docked in Victoria. By the time we, it was, I don't know, around 7 o'clock, I ordered room service. And we had a very special bottle of wine. When we were dining in one of the restaurants, we were approached with the offer to get a 18 crimes, I think 16 or 18, I don't remember now. I have to look at the bottle. So 18 crimes, it's a wine, it's a red wine, and we were offered to get a bottle with our portrait on it. 18 crimes, so like our special customized bottle. So we ordered that bottle, but then we realized we don't want to carry it on the plane. We did have carry-on luggages, and we also had one checked luggage, but it was so filled up with stuff we bought, so I didn't want to risk it to get it overweight. So I didn't want to carry all this bottle. We carried empty bottle, so we decided to drink the wine in Victoria, having a little picnic on the balcony. This wine was very good, and the picnic was very good because it was nice, gorgeous view of the lighthouse when we were approaching Victoria. So it also was so calm and peaceful outside. It wasn't windy, the weather was nice, and me and my husband just sit down there, relax, discussing how wonderful that cruise was. And it was a very, very, very good day. I felt content, I felt calm, I felt relaxed, and again, stress-free. And what can be better than a good bottle of wine with a nice, fresh, healthy food and the perfect view of the Pacific and the beautiful Canada on the horizon. So that was my Saturday. And at night on Saturday I was a little bit sad because it was time to wrap up this beautiful vacation. It was time to wrap up this beautiful trip to Alaska. It was time to reflect and think of all joys and happiness I experienced and all of the new places we've seen, a lot of experiences, and it was time to kind of soak in the last bits of this beautiful ship Yeah, I think on Saturday we also, during the day, we went to the racetrack one last time, and we went separately so my husband could film me, and I could film him a little bit. So me being on the racetrack is also gonna be in my videos, so make sure when my Alaskan videos comes out you watch them and you like them. So that's it. And that was Saturday night. On Sunday morning we arrived back to Seattle. The weather was nice. Our flight wasn't until like later in the day, so we took a bus, a transfer bus. Everything so well organized on NCL cruise. After you get off the ship, we got off the ship around 9:30 or 10. They have buses, and you pay $25 per person to go from the port to the airport. So everything's so smooth and well organized. They took us to the airport, and we went. They didn't quite have a lounge at the airport, and that, Seattle airport wasn't very nice. We met a lady at the Starbucks. She was a nice Ukrainian lady. She's been living in Seattle for about 2 or 3 years, or maybe, yeah. And she said she doesn't like it that much. She wanted to move somewhere, and she worked at the airport. So I had something to complain to her about. That airport didn't have very good seating, and by the time we were ready to check in our luggage and go to the gate, they didn't have a lounge, because we usually go to a lounge, but like this airport just didn't have a lounge. We were, instead of the lounge, they offered us $75 at the restaurant. So we ate lunch, we relaxed. I was able to talk to my kids and just watch some YouTube before we were ready to board our plane. And this time on the way back we flew Alaskan Airlines. Alaskan Airlines was very, very on time, very well organized, very new, good Boeing aircraft. Was perfect. And we came home. It took us about 5 hours and 10 minutes on the way back, flying from Seattle to Orlando, and we came at midnight. So our friend met us at the airport after midnight. By the time we got our luggage, we came home at about 1 a.m. on Monday. Yes, 1 a.m. And on Monday it was my daughter's birthday. We came back on Monday 21st and 1 a.m. in the morning. So it was my daughter's birthday, and she left me a very sweet, detailed note how she wants the kitchen to be decorated. Every year I decorate for my kids before their birthday, and when they wake up in the morning they have their presents and their decorations in the kitchen around the big kitchen table. So she left me a detailed note, and my older daughter, she bought the balloons, big balloons, on Sunday. So when I came, I had to inflate more balloons for my birthday girl, and I before I left on the cruise, I made sure I wrapped some gifts. I bought my gifts far in advance for her. Amazon, thanks Amazon, everything was delivered before my cruise, so I could pack them in a beautiful wrapping paper. I wrapped all my gifts, and I decorated. I put balloons around. I put a happy birthday banner. So because I was still on Seattle time, it was 3 a.m. in Orlando when I went to bed, but it was still midnight in Seattle. So I kind of lived by Seattle time. And that was it. That was my beautiful cruise. On Monday, we celebrated my daughter's birthday. It was very, very nice. I met her from the bus. She was so happy and surprised in the morning to see all the decorations up, and she was very, very happy girl. She had to go to school, and I took a day off on Monday just to unpack, do laundry, and get back to the reality of life. It was very, very good vacation. I came so I came so rested. I came so optimistic. I came back so grounded and so down to earth. And on Tuesday, when I went back to work, all hell broke loose. That's what I like to say, because I had to catch up on a lot of tasks, on a lot of things I missed at work. But let me tell you, I came so relaxed, I came so carefree, I came so stress-free and calm that I wasn't anxious. I told myself, one task at a time, one day at a time. I'm not gonna jump out of my pants. I'm not gonna, stress over nothing. I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna do everything nice and slow, accurate, nice and easy. No mama drama. So that's my motto. Alaska changed me in a way that I decided to be no mama drama. I decided to be more. Uh, I decided to look at things a little easier, not to make a big deal out of things. And I think you do need to get away, far away from your real everyday life, to realize that life is beautiful, that to realize that you're very fortunate to be where you are, to breathe the air, to be healthy, to have your loved ones around you. And sometimes you need to step away from your routine, from your everyday responsibilities. You need to step away, just rest, just to recharge your batteries, to realize how fortunate and how blessed you are. And after realizing that, you have to be grateful. So this trip definitely made me grateful for what I have. um, I'm very humbled. I'm very humbled with the opportunity to see Alaska, to experience the luxury lifestyle on the cruise ship, to be treated like a royalty with all the hard-working people who are on the cruise. Yes, I'm trying not to cry because I cried my last stream. But I'm not crying right now. I'm just, you know, I'm just absorbing. I'm just focusing on that thought. Focusing on that thought, how grateful I am and how humbled I am by the experience of seeing Alaska, seeing wildlife, seeing nature, being a part of that nature, and truly enjoying and absorbing the beauty and being impressed by everything I've seen on that trip. And of course, being with my husband, it's a total different story when you're away from home. It felt just like a honeymoon. It felt like just two of us. We knew that the kids were in good hands, that our kids are very self-sufficient. They know what to do and they're gonna be okay. We didn't have as much guilt. There were a few days when I felt some guilt that we left them behind for this trip. But at the end of the day, we needed to be a couple to enjoy our marriage. It's very important to go on dates, to be away without kids, to just have adult time. And it was perfectly great time on a cruise, to feel blessed and to feel loved and to feel happy, just to be alone, to have our good laughs, to have our fun conversations, to have our meaningful time, our meaningful conversations, relaxing time, slow time together as a couple. It's very, very important. It's very healthy for our marriage, and I'm very, very blessed we had this time to ourselves with my husband. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for listening. My long live stream. It was 1 hour 20 minutes. I'm gonna look and see if it's a decent quality. Hopefully I can keep it. Thank you for being with me, watching my channel. Thank you for letting me express myself without reservations, without hating myself, without being not self-confident. I think I'm getting used to have live stream because it's like talking to a friend. It's like you can be who you are without reservations, without being ashamed, without worrying, without being embarrassed about something. It's very therapeutical. It's very, very, very nice and very meaningful to have these conversations with my viewers on the live stream. Thank you for listening to my stories about Alaska. If you have questions, if you need any tips about trip to Alaska, please don't hesitate to leave comments, ask questions. I will be very, very glad to answer any of your questions and clarify anything I've been talking about. And of course, if you ever take a cruise and you need advice about the cruise to Caribbean or to Alaska, please feel free to ask me, because this Alaskan cruise was my 18th cruise, 18th cruise, the third cruise with Norwegian Cruise Line. So I can compare cruise lines and tell you the best of each cruise line and the tips for each cruise line. Of course, my favorite is still Disney Cruise Line, but Norwegian Cruise Line was very, very, very good. I think my second favorite is Norwegian Cruise Line, and then goes Royal Caribbean. I haven't tried Princess. Maybe next time we'll try Princess Cruise, or we'll try Virgin Cruise Lines, but you know, we're still gonna decide because we wanna explore new destinations. We wanna go on a cruise to Europe, maybe Mediterranean cruise one day. So I still have to explore and do my homework, which cruise line to go, and to create a trip of a lifetime going on a cruise in Europe. Thank you for being with me. Love and kisses. It's already dark. Today is the full moon. My neighbor just sent me a text message telling that today is a full moon, but I cannot see a full moon. Do you see the moon anywhere? Maybe because of the clouds I can't see the moon. Interesting. Maybe I'll see it on the way back home. Thank you for being with me. Love and kisses, big hugs. Peace to you all. Thank you for being with me. And again, we are safe in Central Florida, Orlando area. We are safe after Hurricane Idalia. We're all safe. No damages. The streets are clean and dry. No flooding in our little area. So thank you everybody for being with me this live stream. I love you all. Have a good night and have a good rest of your week. Looking forward to the weekend. Hopefully I can talk to you again during the weekend. We have a long weekend, Labor Day coming, so we're excited about Labor Day, doing something meaningful with your families. Love you all. Bye bye. Good night from sunny Florida, Kate D.